The forbidden Kavithan Carter walked slowly through the thick fog of the alien planet. Strange blue plants glowed softly around him. The sky above was dark, filled with twin moons and distant stars. He held a small scanner in his hand. It beeped quietly, guiding him forward. Ethan was an explorer, always searching for old ruins and lost treasures from forgotten civilizations. This planet was once home to a mighty alien race called the Velians. Long ago, they vanished after a great war. Now, only their ruins remained, hidden deep inside the forests and mountains. Today, Ethan followed the scanner's signal into a narrow rocky valley. He knew the place was dangerous. Locals called it the Forbidden Cave. As he approached the cave's entrance, he noticed strange symbols carved into the stone walls. The air grew colder. Soft whispers seemed to echo from inside, like distant voices calling out. Ethan's heart beat faster, but curiosity pulled him forward. He turned on his headlamp and stepped inside. The cave was wide, but the ceiling was low. Crystals sparkled on the walls. Tiny flying creatures scattered as his light moved. The ground beneath him was slippery, and water dripped from the rocks above. After walking for several minutes, Ethan entered a large chamber. In the center stood a strange metallic chest. It was tall, almost reaching his chest, and covered in glowing alien symbols. The chest pulsed with a soft green light. It looked ancient, yet somehow still alive. Ethan whispered to himself, "What is this?" He reached out and gently touched the surface. Suddenly, the chest reacted. The symbols flashed brighter, and a soft humming sound filled the air. Ethan jumped back, unsure if he had triggered a trap. His scanner beeped wildly. The chest was radiating powerful energy. Ethan had never seen anything like it before. His mind raced with questions. Who had left this here, and why? As he studied the chest, he noticed a circular panel on its front. It had 6 small holes arranged in a pattern. His eyes narrowed. It was a lock, but not like any lock he had ever seen. Carefully, he pulled out his universal toolkit, hoping to find a way to open it. The whispers grew louder. It sounded like voices speaking an unknown language. The air grew colder. Suddenly, a faint growl echoed from deep inside the cave. Ethan froze. Something was there, watching him. "I need to hurry," he whispered. Using a small probe, Ethan inserted the tool into the first hole. The chest made a clicking sound. Slowly, he worked through each hole, carefully matching the patterns that his scanner displayed. After several tense minutes, he inserted the last probe. The chest released a long hiss, and the top slowly lifted open. A bright white light burst out, blinding Ethan for a moment. He shielded his eyes, blinking rapidly. As the light faded, he saw something inside. It was a small alien child. A young girl, no older than 6, lay curled up inside the chest. Her skin was pale blue, and she had long silver hair that shimmered like liquid metal. Strange glowing symbols marked her arms and forehead. She was wearing what looked like royal clothing, though it was worn and torn. Ethan's breath caught in his throat. A child? How is this possible? The girl's eyes fluttered open. They were large, shining with a soft violet glow. She stared at him with fear and confusion. Weakly, she whispered something in a language he couldn't understand. Quickly, Ethan activated his translator device. The girl spoke again, her voice trembling. Double quotes, "Please, don't hurt me, Ethan knelt down and spoke gently. "I won't hurt you. You're safe now." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "Are they gone? The bad men, are they gone?" Before Ethan could answer, a loud rumble shook the cave. From the shadows behind him, multiple red lights appeared. Mechanical guardians, tall and armed, activated. They had been protecting the chest, and now sensed it had been opened. Danger detected. Intruder identified. The machines announced in cold voices. Ethan grabbed the child, holding her close. "We need to get out of here." The machines advanced. their weapons charging. Ethan ran toward the tunnel he had entered from. Lasers fired, striking the walls around him. Rocks fell as the cave began to collapse. The child clung to him tightly, her small hands gripping his jacket. "Please, don't let them take me." "I won't," Ethan promised, with quick thinking. He threw a flash bomb behind him, blinding the machines for a few seconds. He sprinted through the narrowing tunnels, dodging falling rocks and debris. Finally, after what felt like forever, he burst out of the cave into the open night sky. His ship stood not far away, waiting, but his danger wasn't over yet. In the distance, dark shadows moved. Other forces had arrived, and they were watching him. Holding the trembling alien girl, Ethan whispered to himself, "What have I gotten myself into?" The princess from another world. Cold night air pressed against Ethan's face as he ran across the uneven rocky ground. The young alien girl trembling in his arms. Behind him, the red glow of the robotic guardians still flickered deep inside the cave, but he knew it was only a matter of time before they emerged again. The chest was open. Its secret was no longer hidden. Now, someone or something would come. His ship stood waiting a few hundred meters ahead, half hidden behind a tall ridge of black stone. Ethan's boots slipped on loose gravel as he hurried. The girl clung tighter, her small hands gripping his jacket desperately. "Hold on," Ethan whispered, trying to steady his own nerves. As they reached the ship, he activated the entry ramp. The door hissed open, releasing a faint cloud of cold air. The ship's interior was dim, glowing with blue emergency lights. Quickly, he stepped inside and sealed the hatch behind them. For a moment, silence returned, but Ethan knew it was only temporary. He gently placed the girl on a padded seat, kneeling beside her. She was breathing heavily, her large violet eyes wide with fear and exhaustion. "You're safe now," Ethan said softly. The translator in his earpiece buzzed to life as the girl spoke again in her language. Double quotes, "They, ... They tried to find me," she whispered. "They always come. Always looking." Ethan stared at her. She was more than just a child. The strange royal markings on her forehead and arms glowed faintly in the ship's light. Her clothing, though damaged, was made from fine silk-like material, embedded with alien symbols he couldn't read. Whoever she was, she had been important once. "What's your name?" Ethan asked gently. The girl hesitated, as if afraid to reveal it. Then she spoke, her voice barely a whisper. "Lyra." "Of House Velian." Ethan's breath caught. He had heard that name before. The House of Velian had ruled the Velian Empire centuries ago, before it all collapsed during the Great Civil War. Historians believed the entire royal family had been wiped out long ago. But here she was, a lost princess, still alive. "You've been asleep for a very long time, haven't you?" Ethan asked. Lyra nodded, her small face filled with sadness. "They hid me, ... before the bad men came. My mother said I would be safe, but I was alone, ... for so long, ... Her voice cracked as tears welled in her eyes. Ethan felt a heavy weight in his chest. This little girl had been trapped in that chest, alone for centuries, waiting, protected by machines, but still helpless. And now, her secret was out. He moved to the ship's control panel, trying to scan the area. The radar blinked. Multiple signals were approaching fast. Not just the robotic guardians, something else. Living beings, ships, incoming vessels, ... The ship's AI announced. "Damn," Ethan muttered under his breath. "We've got company." Suddenly, the communication system crackled. An unknown voice, cold and commanding, echoed through the speakers. "Attention, human. You have taken what does not belong to you. Surrender the child, and your life will be spared." Ethan's jaw tightened. He quickly muted the channel and turned back to Lyra. "Who are they?" he asked. Her eyes widened with terror. "The Shadow Guild. They want to take me, to control the throne. My blood." They needed to claim power. Ethan clenched his fists. It was worse than he thought. Powerful factions had survived the fall of the Velian Empire. And now, with Lyra alive, she was the key to an ancient throne they all desired. More signals appeared on the radar. Fighters, small attack ships, circling in. The warlord behind this wanted her badly and they wouldn't negotiate. Suddenly, the ship shook violently as energy blasts struck its shields. Shields holding, the AI announced, but not for long. Hold tight, Lyra, Ethan shouted. He fired up the engines and launched the ship into the sky. The ship weaved through incoming fire as the enemy fighters gave chase. The twin moons reflected off the silver wings of the enemy craft. The battle had begun. Evasive maneuvers initiated. The AI stated. Lyra watched with wide eyes as the stars spun around them. She gripped the armrest tightly. Ethan focused on the controls, dodging incoming missiles. He was a skilled pilot. But the enemy ships were fast and ruthless. Suddenly, Lyra's hands began to glow faintly. Small waves of energy rippled from her fingers. The ship's controls responded unexpectedly, stabilizing, adjusting course. Ethan glanced at her in surprise. Are you ... controlling the ship? Lyra looked down at her hands, confused. I don't know. It's like ... The ship listens. Your royal blood, Ethan realized. This is old Velian tech. The ships were designed to obey the royal family. Just then, the enemy ships closed in tighter. One of their fighters fired a plasma torpedo directly at Ethan's ship. The AI screamed a warning. Critical impact incoming. Lyra's eyes glowed brighter. Suddenly, a powerful, invisible shield surrounded the ship, and the torpedo exploded harmlessly against it. Ethan stared in shock. How are you doing that? He asked. I ... Don't know, she whispered, her voice trembling. It's inside me. It woke up when you opened the chest. The enemy pilots were confused, circling them but unable to land a direct hit. As the chase continued, Ethan's mind raced. Lyra wasn't just a lost child. She was awakening ancient powers tied to her bloodline. But they wouldn't last much longer. Fuel was low, weapons were limited, and the enemy was regrouping. We need to hide, Ethan said. But where? Lyra's eyes blinked, as if seeing something in her mind. There's a place. My father once told me. A hidden moon. A sanctuary. Before Ethan could ask more, a large capital ship appeared in front of them, far larger than the others. Its massive guns pointed directly at them. The communication crackled again. This time a different voice spoke, deep, cold, filled with menace. You cannot run, human. Surrender the princess. Her destiny belongs to me. Ethan's face hardened. Not today. And with that, he punched the hyperdrive. The ship jumped into hyperspace, disappearing in a flash of light, leaving the warlord's fleet behind. But only for now. Inside the ship, silence returned for a brief moment. Lyra looked at him, her small voice shaking. Why are you helping me? Ethan gave a small, sad smile. Because no child should be hunted like this. And because maybe, you're not just saving yourself. Maybe you're about to change everything. The unknown sanctuary waited ahead. But the hunt was far from over. Hunted by the shadow, stars blurred into long white streaks as Ethan's ship soared through hyperspace. Though they had escaped the enemy fleet, the weight of danger still hung thick inside the cabin. Ethan glanced over at Lyra, who sat quietly, her small hands resting in her lap, her violet eyes distant. The strange glow on her skin had faded for now. But Ethan knew what he saw back there. She wasn't just a lost princess. She was something far more powerful. The ship's AI interrupted the silence. Hyperjump nearing completion. Coordinates set for unknown moon sector 5X, a restricted region. Ethan frowned. Restricted. Great. The sanctuary. Lyra whispered. My father said only those of royal blood can enter. Ethan studied her. How do you even remember all this? You were just a child when they hid you. Lyra's voice trembled as she spoke. I hear voices sometimes, memories, not mine, from my ancestors. It's like they're helping me. Ethan felt a chill crawl up his spine. Royal bloodlines, ancient telepathic knowledge. The Velian Empire was far more advanced than humanity had ever guessed. The ruins, the forbidden technology had all been built on powers that modern science could barely comprehend. Suddenly, the ship lurched out of hyperspace, dropping them into real space near a small, dark moon. It spun slowly beneath them, half covered in heavy storms. Unlike other moons, no visible stations or structures appeared on its surface. Ethan narrowed his eyes. This place doesn't exist on any star map. Only my family knew of it, Lyra said softly. It's protected by the old codes. Ethan brought the ship closer, scanning for any entrance. The AI struggled to find anything but clouds and mountains. Then, as they passed over a jagged mountain ridge, a bright golden symbol pulsed briefly on the ground, a giant sigil embedded into the rock. There, Lyra pointed. Ethan angled the ship down, flying cautiously into a narrow canyon. Suddenly, the symbol on the ground emitted a beam of golden light that scanned their vessel. Royal bloodline confirmed, the AI voice echoed through the ship's speakers. Access granted. Before Ethan could react, the mountains themselves shifted. Two enormous stone pillars slowly pulled apart, revealing a hidden hangar built directly inside the moon's core. Massive metal doors slid open like the mouth of some ancient creature welcoming them in. Ethan guided the ship inside, his heart pounding. Whoever built this, they didn't want anyone finding it. As the doors closed behind them, sealing out the stormy skies, the ship gently landed on a platform. Bright lights activated, illuminating the enormous underground chamber. Hundreds of ancient alien statues lined the walls, their glowing eyes watching silently. Automated systems, untouched for centuries, hummed back to life as if expecting them. Welcome. Princess Lyra of Velian, an old synthesized voice spoke through the chamber. You have returned. Lyra stepped off the ship slowly, holding on to Ethan's hand. She looked around with a mixture of awe and sadness. This was my family's last hope, if everything failed. Ethan scanned the surroundings cautiously. Let's hope it's still safe. But far above, beyond the sealed moon, the danger was already growing. The warlord known only as Lord Tyrek stood aboard his massive command ship, glaring at the empty coordinates where Ethan's ship had vanished. His cybernetic eye glowed red as he turned to his fleet commander. Find them, Tyrek growled. She cannot escape again. The commander bowed. We have already dispatched shadow probes. They will scan every restricted sector. Tyrek slammed his metal fist against the control console. I waited too long for this moment. That girl's blood holds the key to activating the throne's full power. Once I have it, the Velian Empire will rise again, under my rule. Far away, hidden deep inside the sanctuary, Ethan and Lyra continued to explore. Tall holographic projections flickered to life as Lyra approached. Ancient recordings of her ancestors played before them, kings, queens, and powerful leaders. One message caught Ethan's attention. A towering hologram of Lyra's father appeared, speaking directly to her. My beloved daughter, the king's voice spoke, calm but heavy with emotion. If you are seeing this, then our empire has fallen. You are the last of House Velian. Many will hunt you for the power within your blood. But remember, your power must serve balance, not ambition. Trust only those who protect life, not those who seek control. Tears rolled down Lyra's cheeks. I never thought I'd see him again. Ethan placed a comforting hand on her shoulder. He left this for you. He believed you'd survive. Suddenly, alarms echoed through the chamber. External scans detect hostile probes approaching, the AI warned. Unauthorized forces have breached the system. Ethan cursed under his breath. They found us. The sanctuary's defenses activated, massive energy shields forming over the hidden moon's surface. But more enemy ships warped into the systems leak black vessels, fast and deadly. Prepare ground assault teams, Lord Tyreek ordered. Bring me the girl alive. Inside the sanctuary, large guardian mechs rose from the ground Danient protectors, programmed to defend the royal bloodline. Princess, the AI voice spoke. Your command is required to activate full defenses. Lyra looked overwhelmed. I don't know how. Ethan knelt in front of her. Listen to me, Lyra. You have more strength than you know. Your father believed in you, and so do I. They're coming for you, but you can stop them. Lyra closed her eyes, breathing deeply. Her glowing symbols brightened once more. When she spoke again, her voice was stronger. Guardian units activate full defense protocol. Instantly, the ancient mechs roared to life, weapons unfolding from their armored shells. Glowing energy fields surged through the walls. The sanctuary transformed into a fortress. Ethan smiled. That's my princess. But as the enemy forces landed on the moon's surface, a new battle was about to begin, one that would determine the fate of not just Lyra, but the entire Valian legacy. The jungle of secrets ground trembled as enemy shuttles landed across the moon's surface. Clouds of dust and steam rose into the cold alien air. Black armored soldiers poured out in disciplined waves, carrying heavy plasma rifles, guided by shadowy commanders. Wearing visors that flickered with glowing red symbols, at the center of the fleet stood Lord Tyreek himself. Watching as his troops spread across the valley surrounding the hidden sanctuary, the thick jungle trees rustled in the wind, whispering like nervous witnesses to the invasion. Tyrak spoke into his communicator. The royal sanctuary is now exposed. Their defenses are ancient resilient, but outdated. Overwhelm them. Find the girl. The throne's blood is mine. Above, high-energy shields shimmered over the hidden fortress, but the enemy forces were patient. They began deploying drilling devices, machines designed to burrow through the reinforced rock from beneath, like metallic serpents hunting prey. Inside the sanctuary, Ethan and Lyra stood before the massive holographic war table, which displayed real-time battle projections. Red dots marked the incoming attackers, while blue icons showed the ancient Guardian mechs, now activated by Lyra's command. Ethan's jaw tightened as he studied the map. They're not just charging at us. They're burrowing underneath. They want to crack this place open from within. Lyra's small hands trembled slightly, but her eyes burned with growing determination. We won't let them. Suddenly, another holographic recording activated an emergency protocol from Lyra's mother, the late Queen of Valian. If our enemies ever breach the sanctuary, her voice warned, activate Protocol 9. Retreat into the heart chamber. Only the true heir can unlock its defenses. Ethan turned to Lyra. The heart chamber. She nodded slowly. It's deep underground, beneath the central temple, my father said. It holds the last seed of the Valian Empire. A final hope. Without wasting time, they hurried through long corridors, escorted by two towering Guardian mechs, whose heavy footsteps echoed through the ancient halls. As they descended, the sanctuary above shook under the constant enemy assault. Massive drilling machines had broken through the first layers of rock. Tyrak's forces were inching closer with each passing second. Meanwhile, deep inside the fortress, the corridors opened into a massive subterranean jungle and artificial biosphere hidden below the moon's surface. Tall glowing trees reached up into the high dome. Strange bioluminescent creatures hovered in the humid air. Ethan paused, staring at the sight in awe. An entire jungle, hidden underground. Lyra explained softly. This was the Valiant cradle, a living archive. My ancestors preserved not only our technology, but our entire ecosystem in case the Empire fell. It's alive, and it recognizes me. As they entered, The jungle responded to her presence. Vines parted. Glowing flowers bloomed. The guardian mechs followed, scanning for threats. But even here, danger lurked. The AI voice echoed in warning. Intruders detected inside the biosphere. Ethan spun around, drawing his blaster. From the thick shadows emerged Lord Tyrak's elite hunters, small squads of highly trained assassins in sleek black armor, armed with advanced stealth weapons. They had bypassed the main assault, sneaking in through forgotten tunnels. "Stay behind me," Ethan ordered. The first shots rang out. Plasma bolts zipped through the air as the hunters opened fire. Ethan returned fire, aiming carefully. One hunter fell, but two more moved swiftly through the trees, flanking them suddenly. One hunter leaped toward Lyra, a blade glinting in the dim light. But the guardian mechs reacted instantly, massive arms, swinging like hammers, crushing the attacker. "Midair, protect the princess," the mech's deep voice announced. The remaining hunters regrouped. One of them activated a strange device, releasing a pulse of energy that temporarily disabled one guardian mech, making it slump forward, sparks flying from its joints. "We have to move," Ethan shouted, dodging enemy fire. They sprinted toward the heart chamber's entrance, a towering set of doors, covered in glowing golden symbols. The hunters followed closely, firing relentlessly. Lyra stopped before the door, placing her glowing hands against the ancient symbols. The symbols responded, spinning and shifting like living keys. The hunters charged. Ethan held them off, firing shot after shot, barely keeping them back. His blaster overheated. One of the assassins knocked him down, raising a plasma blade for the kill dot. But then, Lyra's voice rang out strong, clear, full of power. "You will not harm him." A shockwave exploded from her body, sending the hunters flying backwards. Weapons ripped from their hands by invisible force. The air shimmered with her unleashed energy. Ethan gasped, looking up from the ground. "Lyra, ... The massive doors of the heart chamber opened slowly, revealing a glowing sphere floating at the center of a vast chamber, a living seed, pulsing with ancient energy. The AI announced. "Heart of Velian activated. Genetic signature confirmed." The surviving hunters stumbled to their feet, but before they could attack again, the fully reactivated guardian mechs stepped forward, their weapons locking on the intruders. Beams of pure plasma blasted through the remaining assassins, ending the immediate threat. Ethan pulled Lyra into the chamber, sealing the doors behind them. For the first time since the escape began, they had a brief moment of safety. What is this place?" Ethan asked, staring at the glowing sphere. Lyra stepped closer, her voice full of awe. "This is the life seed, the pure essence of Valian technology, knowledge, and power. My family hid it here to preserve our world's legacy." The sphere hummed gently as Lyra approached, its light growing brighter. But even here, the danger wasn't over. Above them, Tyrak's massive drilling machines finally pierced into the sanctuary's core layers. Heavy explosions echoed through the ground. The outer walls of the fortress shook violently. Tyrak himself prepared to lead the final assault. "She's cornered now," he said coldly. "Bring my elite enforcers. This ends tonight." Inside the heart chamber, Ethan knew the final battle was approaching. He placed a hand on Lyra's shoulder. "They're coming, Lyra, and we may not survive this." Lyra looked up at him, her voice steady and full of courage. "Then we fight together." For the first time, the lost princess stood fully awakened, not just as a frightened child, but as the future of an empire, and as the ground shook beneath their feet, the greatest battle of the Velian legacy was about to begin. The hidden throne deep beneath the shaking ground, the heart chamber pulsed with living energy. Glowing veins of light ran through the walls like rivers of power, all converging at the life seed floating at the center. Its soft humming filled the chamber with a strange calm, as if the very soul of the ancient Velian Empire was breathing again. But above them, That calm was being shattered. The drilling machines finally breached the last layers of the sanctuary. Molten rock poured down the tunnel walls. Armored troops poured into the cavern like an endless black tide, their visors glowing red through the smoke. They advanced in perfect formation, weapons drawn, hearts cold. Lord Tyreek descended into the sanctuary himself, surrounded by his personal guard, the enforcers, giants in heavy obsidian armor, enhanced with forbidden sun. Each step they took shook the ground as they marched toward the chamber. Sealed the inner door completely, Ethan ordered, typing frantically on the control panel. The thick metallic doors to the heart chamber groaned as reinforced layers slid into place. For a moment, they had a barrier, but it would not hold forever. Ethan turned to Lyra. They'll be through that door soon. The glowing sphere of the life seed floated just behind her, reacting to her presence, almost as if waiting for her next move. Then we must awaken the hidden throne, Lyra whispered. Ethan frowned. Hidden throne. Lyra looked toward the far wall. As she approached, the ground beneath shifted. The wall split open, revealing an ancient platform and elevated throne carved from the same living crystal as the life seed itself. It pulsed, with the same golden light, humming softly as though calling her. This was my ancestors' final creation, Lyra explained. The true control center of Velian power. Only one of my bloodline can activate it. Ethan watched her step up onto the throne. As she sat, the air around her shimmered. Ancient symbols floated in the air like holographic runes, spinning slowly. Streams of data and power surged through her body. Her eyes glowed with blinding violet light. The AI's voice spoke reverently. Full genetic integration confirmed. Throne command interface online. Awaiting sovereign command. Outside, Tyrek's troops readied their assault. Detonate the seismic charges, Tyrek ordered. Break that door open. Massive explosions rocked the entire sanctuary. The ground heaved. Cracks spidered through the stone walls. Dust rained from the ceiling. The door buckled under the pressure. Inside the heart chamber, alarms blared. Structural integrity at critical level, the AI warned. Ethan gritted his teeth. We're running out of time. But Lyra sat perfectly still on the throne, her small hands resting on the glowing control panels. Data flowed through her veins as ancient knowledge awakened. She spoke calmly. I can feel, everything, every system, every defense, every memory. It's all inside me now. Ethan's eyes widened. Can you stop them? She nodded, but her voice trembled. I can activate the final defense system, but it may destroy the entire sanctuary to protect the life seed. And you might not survive. Ethan hesitated, looking at the sealed doors already cracking open. The enforcers outside prepared for their final charge. He stepped closer to her, his voice steady. Lyra, your life matters more than mine. I made a promise to protect you. If that means risking my life, so be it. Tears welled in her glowing eyes. I don't want to lose you. You won't, Ethan smiled faintly. But you must do what's necessary. Suddenly, the final explosion rocked the chamber. The thick doors collapsed inward with a deafening crash. Black-armored soldiers stormed inside, weapons raised, followed closely by the towering enforcers at the center of them. Lord Tyreek entered slowly, his heavy boots echoing with each step. His red cybernetic eye locked onto Lyra. There you are, little princess. His voice was cold, calculated. You've made it very difficult to capture you, but this game is over. Ethan stepped between Tyreek and Lyra, blaster raised. You're not taking her? Tyreek chuckled darkly. Human, you've interfered enough. With a simple wave, Tyrak's enforcers raised their heavy cannons, aiming directly at Ethan. But, before they fired, Lyra's voice cut through the chamber like thunder. Enough. The very air shifted as the throne's full power surged through her. Golden beams of energy erupted from the throne, forming a protective shield around her. and the soldiers opened fire. Plasma bolts struck the shield and dissolved instantly. Tyrax snarled, "Impressive, but your shield won't last forever." Lyra's voice grew stronger, filled with authority beyond her years. "You don't understand, Tyreek. I am not here to fight for power. I am here to protect what my family built. And you are unworthy of that power." Tyreek raised his arm. "Kill them both." The enforcers charged forward, their massive armored bodies crashing against the golden shield. The throne's energy strained, cracks of light flickering with each impact. Lyra winced, struggling to maintain control. The throne amplified her abilities, but the assault was overwhelming. Ethan looked back at her. "Lyra, you must release the heart seed. If I do, everything here may be destroyed," she whispered. Ethan single quotes, his voice was calm, filled with unshakable faith. "Then let it be destroyed, but you cannot let him win." With a final scream of defiance, Lyra's entire body erupted in light. The life seed responded, spinning rapidly, its energy surging through the throne and into the chamber. "Initiate final sovereign protocol," the AI confirmed suddenly. Every wall of the heart chamber unfolded. Massive ancient defense turrets emerged. Beams of pure energy swept across the room, vaporizing Tyrax soldiers instantly. The Guardian mechs reawakened at full strength, crushing the remaining enforcers like insects. Tyrak, shielded by his own cybernetic armor, roared in rage. "You dare challenge me?" He lunged forward, breaking through the last remnants of the shield. His massive metal fist struck Ethan, sending him crashing into the wall. Blood dripped from Ethan's forehead as he struggled to stand. Tyreek marched toward Lyra, his cybernetic implants glowing with stolen power. "Your blood belongs to me," he bellowed. But Lyra stood tall on the throne, her entire body wrapped in golden energy. She raised her hand slowly, her voice steady. "No, Tyreek, your time has ended." A beam of pure light shot from her palm, piercing Tyrak's chest plate. His body froze, circuits shorting out, sparks flying. His cybernetic eye flickered as his massive frame collapsed to the floor. Silence fell. The enemy forces were gone. The chamber stood bathed in golden light, humming softly once again. Ethan crawled to his feet, breathing heavily. "You did it, ... Lyra turned, her glow slowly fading, tears streaking down her face. "We did it." Ethan smiled weakly. "Your parents would be proud." For a moment, the ancient sanctuary finally knew peace. But beyond this victory, neither of them yet realized the consequences of awakening the throne had already rippled across the galaxy. Far beyond, new powers had sensed the return of House Velian, and a much larger storm was on its way. The final stand for a long moment after Tyrak's fall. The heart chamber remained still, filled only with the gentle humming of the life seed and the soft glow surrounding Lyra. Ethan stood beside her, breathing heavily, bruises and cuts covering his body. He watched her carefully, knowing the battle might be over inside this room, but not outside. "Not yet." "Is it really over?" Ethan finally whispered. Lyra shook her head slowly. "No. The throne's activation sent a signal far beyond this moon. Others, ... powerful ones, have heard the call." Even as she spoke, the AI's voice interrupted, sharp and urgent. "Long-range scans detect multiple incoming fleets. Unknown factions converging. Estimated arrival in minutes." Ethan frowned. "Others? What others?" The holographic star map expanded before them, revealing several massive fleets warping into the system from all directions, some bearing ancient Velian insignias, others marked by warlords, exiled factions, and even unknown alien powers that had been watching from the shadows for generations. "They've been waiting for this moment," Lyra whispered. "For centuries, hidden factions dreamed of stealing my family's power. Now that the life seed is active again, they want to take it for themselves." Ethan clenched his fists. This whole system will become a war zone. The AI added another brutal fact. Defense systems operating at 40%. Inner shields stable, but external planetary defenses remain limited due to prior damage. Ethan looked at Lyra, his voice firm. We need help. For the first time since they'd arrived on this moon, Lyra smiled faintly. We may have help. She raised her hand, and the throne responded instantly. The holographic interface shifted, revealing a hidden network. Ancient long-range communication beacons, Velian emergency distress channels, buried long ago. There were loyalists who survived after the fall, Lyra explained. They've been in hiding, scattered across distant systems. If they still honor House Velian, they will answer my call. Without hesitation, Lyra transmitted a royal distress beacon through the ancient channels. The signal shot across hyperspace, like a silent scream, carrying the voice of the lost princess to anyone who remained loyal. Minutes later, as enemy fleets prepared to launch full-scale assaults on the sanctuary moon, an unexpected new fleet emerged from hyperspace on the system's far side. Dozens of sleek silver ships appeared, ships bearing the true crest of House Velian. Their engines pulsed with familiar golden energy, their weapons primed, their shields glowing like walls of light. The loyalists had come. From the bridge of the lead vessel, an elderly Velian admiral appeared on the communication screen. His face was lined with age, but his voice was strong. By the stars. It's true, Princess Lyra. We thought you were lost forever. Lyra smiled warmly, her voice steady. Your faith kept House Velian alive, Admiral. But now we face our greatest battle. Then we fight with you, my queen, the Admiral said firmly, as the two fleets clashed in orbit. Plasma beams cut through space like bolts of lightning. Capital ships exchanged heavy fire, while swarms of smaller fighters weaved in deadly patterns. The sky above the sanctuary moon burned with energy, glowing in unnatural colors. But inside the sanctuary, the danger was still far from over. One of the surviving warlords, General Karnak, had landed his ground forces during the distraction. His soldiers stormed through the damaged sections of the sanctuary's upper levels, cutting their way deeper toward the heart chamber. Ethan grabbed his blaster, adrenaline surging once again. We've got another breach. Lyra stood, her eyes still glowing with throne energy. No more running. She activated another command from the throne. Dozens of hidden corridors inside the sanctuary opened, revealing long-forgotten automated combat drones designed by ancient Velian engineers. They rolled and hovered into position, forming defensive lines. Ethan smirked. Now that's more like it. The battle inside the sanctuary erupted in brutal close quarters. Drones blasted enemy soldiers with precision laser fire, but men were vicious, using advanced anti-drone tech and brutal melee weapons. Heavy exosuits smashed through drone waves with brutal force. The ground shook violently as Karnak himself finally entered the central chamber, a towering brute wrapped in heavy battle armor, far bulkier and stronger than Tyreek ever was. His helmet displayed shifting holographic symbols, tracking targets. He laughed as he stepped forward. You killed Tyreek. Good. He was weak. But now the true future of Velian will begin under my rule. His weaponized gauntlets powered up, crackling with unstable energy. Stand aside, human, Karnak growled at Ethan. This isn't your fight. Ethan raised his blaster calmly. It became my fight the moment you tried to take her, Karnak roared and charged, swinging his massive gauntlet toward Ethan. The human dove to the side, firing blasts that barely scratched the warlord's reinforced armor. Lyra, still on the throne, directed defensive drones to target Karnak. Multiple beams struck his shields, but the brute kept moving forward like a juggernaut. Your tricks are outdated, Princess Karnak mocked. The battle turned personal, a brutal hand-to-hand duel between Ethan and Karnak. Ethan fought fiercely, dodging heavy blows while trying to land precise strikes on exposed joints. But Karnak's superior strength overwhelmed him, slamming him hard against a pillar. Blood dripped from Ethan's mouth as he struggled to stand. You single quotes, stronger than Tyreek, Ethan admitted, wiping his mouth. But you're still a fool. Karnak lunged again, but this time, Lyra intervened. Enough. Her voice thundered through the chamber. The throne unleashed its final defensa, concentrated energy pulse that froze Karnak mid-charge, locking his armor systems with precision beams. His giant body trembled, unable to move. Lyra rose from the throne platform, floating several feet into the air as the throne's energy fully fused with her. The House of Velian does not belong to tyrants, she declared, with a final burst of power. She unleashed a focused energy spear directly into Karnak's chest. His armor cracked, sparks exploding as the energy fried his systems. The warlord screamed as his entire body collapsed. The last of the invaders were defeated. Outside, the loyalist fleet pushed back the enemy warlords. Several enemy ships fled into hyperspace, their dreams of conquest shattered. Others were captured. Their leaders surrendered inside the heart chamber. Silence returned. Ethan limped toward Lyra as she slowly descended back to the ground. The glowing symbols faded from her skin. She looked exhausted but radiant. It's over, she whispered. Ethan smiled, despite his bruises. For now. But as the AI re-engaged full control of the sanctuary, it spoke one final message. Warning. Unknown. Signal detected. Origin. Deep space. Highly advanced unknown faction responding to throne activation. Ethan and Lyra exchanged worried glances. Lyra whispered softly, "The galaxy has awoken." They had won the battle, but far greater. Power's ancient ones had now been alerted. The real war for the future of VE Lion, was just beginning. A new beginning. Thelian sanctuary stood in eerie silence after the battle. The air smelled of burning plasma, scorched metal, and the heavy scent of war. Bodies of fallen enemies and shattered drones lay scattered across the ruined halls. Cracks lined the ancient walls, but the life seed at the center still pulsed with steady golden light. Untouched, alive. Lyra sat quietly on the throne, her small frame wrapped in flowing white robes now restored by the throne's automated systems. But her eyes were distant, heavy with the weight of what had just happened. Ethan stood nearby, his body still bruised, bandaged, but alive. He watched her carefully, sensing what she wasn't saying. "You saved them all, Lyra," Ethan said softly. "For now," she replied, her voice barely above a whisper. "But the signal we sent out, it woke something far worse." The AI calm but cold voice filled the chamber again. "Inbound fleet, approaching. Unknown class. Unmatched technology. Estimated arrival, 2 hours." Ethan frowned. "Unmatched? We've seen unmatched before," the AI clarified. "Scans suggest technology predating the fall of Velian Empire. Possible origin, the old architects." Silence fell between them. The old architects, the original creators of Velian technology, a race so advanced that even the ancient Velian kings once feared them. Legends spoke of them disappearing into deep space, long before the civil wars tore the empire apart. "They were never gone," Lyra whispered. "They've been waiting." Ethan's voice was firm. "Then we prepare." The loyalist fleet, still hovering above the moon, repositioned itself quickly. Admiral Sorvin, the loyalist commander, appeared on the holographic display, his face grave. "My queen, we have intercepted fragments of their transmissions. It's not just a fleet, it's a judgment." Lyra's heart sank. "Judgment, Admiral," Sorvin nodded grimly. "The architects believe any attempt to reactivate the throne or the life seed violates the balance they imposed long ago. They are coming to either seize control or destroy everything." Ethan's voice sharpened. "Can we fight them?" Sorvin's answer came without hesitation. "No fleet in the galaxy can match their power. Their weapons manipulate reality itself. We may have numbers, but we don't have their science. For the first time since taking her throne, Lyra felt truly small. What do they want? Ethan asked. They want to erase us, Lyra answered. To erase Velion. To erase me. As the 2-hour countdown ticked, chaos spread through the loyalist ranks. Engineers scrambled to reinforce the sanctuary's defenses. Medical units evacuated. The wounded, civilian scientists, long hidden under Velion's forgotten banners, begged to flee, but Lyra stood still. Then, unexpectedly, the AI spoke again. Its voice sounded different, older, almost like another being had taken control of it. There is another option. Lyra and Ethan turned toward the control interface. Option? Ethan asked cautiously. The AI continued. Buried within. The throne is a fail-safe protocol left by the first king of Velion. Should the architects ever return, the sovereign may invoke the veil. What's the veil? Lyra whispered. The sanctuary, the life seed, the throne. And your bloodline can be hidden sealed outside conventional space. Not destroyed, but removed from the architect's reach. The moon would vanish into dimensional isolation, preserving all knowledge and life within. Ethan narrowed his eyes. That sounds like exile. It is exile, the AI confirmed. It is survival. Lyra's heart pounded. And everyone else. The fleet, my people. They must flee while they can, the AI said coldly. Only the throne's sovereign and one companion of her choosing may remain inside the veil. Silence fell. Ethan saw the fear in Lyra's eyes. If you do this, you'll be cut off from the galaxy. Yes, she whispered, but the architects won't destroy Velion's last hope. Tears welled in her eyes. I was supposed to rebuild my people, not run. Ethan stepped closer, lowering his voice. Sometimes survival is victory. The Loyalist fleet prepared emergency warp jumps. Civilians fled in transport ships. In space, the architect's massive fleet finally arrived, silent, ominous wall of sleek dark vessels, each the size of entire cities. No threats were spoken, no demands were issued. Their message was simple: leave or perish. Admiral hailed them one last time from the command bridge. My queen, we are ready. But, if you stay, Lyra interrupted him gently. You are free, Admiral. Carry Velion's banner far from this place. Protect the survivors. We will meet again, one day. The Admiral saluted with a heavy heart. We owe you everything, my queen. As the Loyalist fleet jumped into hyperspace, abandoning the system, only the sanctuary moon remained. Standing alone before the architect's inside the heart chamber. Lyra stood before the throne, tears falling quietly. Ethan, she whispered, I don't want to do this alone. He stepped beside her, never hesitating. Then you won't. She stared into his eyes. But if you stay, you may never return to your world. Ethan smiled softly. You are my world. With a trembling hand, she reached for his. He took it gently. That AI activated the final sequence. Veil protocol engaged. Dimensional shift in progress. Outside, the architects unleashed beams of impossible energy toward the sanctuary moon, but before the strikes landed, the entire moon pulsed brightly and vanished into a burst of golden light, slipping into dimensional space where the architects could not follow. The architects, finding nothing left, silently withdrew. In the endless void of isolation, the sanctuary floated in timeless stasises. Inside, Lyra and Ethan stood in the glowing chamber, surrounded by the preserved life seed and ancient knowledge of Velion's lost empire. Lyra exhaled slowly. It's done. Ethan wrapped his arms around her gently. Not done, only beginning. We're alone, she whispered. We're alive, he answered, and we have a future to build. The ancient stars outside the dimensional veil shimmered softly. The throne of Velion sat silent, its glow steady. waiting for the day its people would return. And though the galaxy beyond would change and forget, the true heart of Velian remained safe, carried forward by a young princess and the human who refused to abandon her. A new beginning had truly begun.